Welcome, Jinx Australian Online Supercar Championship. This is race 14. This is Donnington 150. Thanks to our sponsors, Jinx Shifters, RK Simulations, Simrigs.com, AJ Insurance Services, Race Circuit Art Australia, Team Team 126 Racing and Akuta. My name's Brett O'Brien. I'm a special guest tonight. Looks like I'm flying solo. My right-hand man, Nick House, is on the cameras tonight. Welcome to lovely Donnington Park in Leicestershire, England. It's going to be a cracking race ahead of us. Some really good racing being going on lately in this series, and we've got some favourable weather that's going to give us some really fast racing. It's 18 degrees temp, 34% humidity, partly cloudy, so the lap times with the track temp of 37 are going to be very, very favourable. We're running the short version circuit, the national circuit here tonight. So, yeah, look out for some good times. So far, qualifying has just got a couple of minutes left, and it's Kyle Stokes for the Sim Racing team. 104.841 is a sensational time by Kyle, who hasn't done as much racing of late, as he would admit himself. He's been diverted with other things. So to see Kyle back in form is absolutely outstanding and really stoked for him. Tom Freer second. And don't forget, though, we're going to be doing a top 10 shootout, and we've got Todd Hayne on screen at the moment. So the times that we've got at the moment will stick. And if any of these guys go slower on their single lap, and we said Todd Hayne is out on track at the moment, then Kyle Stokes, with that time, it's 1.5 tenths faster than Tom Freer, and it's a really good time that the SSR cars laid down. So we're on board with Todd Hayne now, single lap qualifying, and he's just about to start his first flying lap, or only flying lap, in what is our top 10 shootout. So it's good apex entry there, and he's been in form of late, Todd. Really, this team just continues to improve and improve, and it's a tough layout here. It's very much a momentum, keep your rhythm type track here. So he's up a couple of tenths already, and he's just keeping a tight line here. This is a tough corner here, off camber, right-hander, down a couple of tenths now. He's actually dropped a bit of time there, not sure where he's lost there. But it just lays even more weight to the time that Stokes has put in. So he's gone green. So the car 94, he's dropped a couple of tenths more. So he's about 3 tenths down overall on the lead time at the moment. But the important part of the track still come up here. A lot of time can be made with some late braking, get some early turn in there. Has taken that line extremely well. Just looking on time, he crosses it now. It's a bit off time. It's a 105.227. He actually held sway later on in that. He'd be disappointed with that time, but and the track temperature has not gone up. So we've got Freeman on the track now in the car 015. Again, Tom's kind of come out of nowhere of late. He's certainly made some significant improvements. The whole team this year has been rattling along really well. Brian Borg, with obviously Corey Shepherd on board. Sebastian Tixey has been doing a bit of work in the background. These guys have definitely improved. Rick Kutsanoff, obviously, and we'll see plenty of them. But Tom Freeman, a name that's probably not quite well as known. Again, though, be great to have him in the top 10. They're just starting his flying lap now. Yeah, so as you can see, all the cars are using the pit exit just to get that extra line, that extra drive in. And again, this is the part where it flows third gear, fourth gear, down to third, tight line here. Watch the exit here, you can catch the dirt so easy, you can get an off track. Any of these cars in the top 10 shootout get an off track, she's all over, back of the grid for you. So there's got to be that little mix of whether to be aggressive and whether to be conservative. Make sure you can catch that time. Down a couple of tenths here in Sector 1. So Kyle Stokes, Tom Freer still looking pretty handy at the moment. We saw Todd Hayne earlier as the 10th car, and he's got almost exact time to Todd Hayne. So again, Kyle Stokes is looking really handy here so far. So Kyle's was going to start 11th. He's going to go up a couple of positions as Freeman crosses the strike now with a time is coming a 105.285, so down to 9th place as it stands, and he'd probably be a bit disappointed with that. Jacob Knight, privateer now, has recently withdrawn from the team that he was in, so it's good to see Jacob still very active. And yeah, he's a guy who, when he has that motivation, he can come out of nowhere, put in a really strong performance, hoping that tonight here at Donnington is one of those. So he's just about to get through the last chicane there. On the power, nice and early, good exit. And as you can see, as he crosses the line, he's going to be taking on his flying lap now. Takes all of that exit there onto the pit entry. Now, you don't want to go too far out there. Again, you can get an off track and your time will be disallowed. On the power, nice and early. It looks like a good lap so far. Track temp still staying static at 37 degrees. So, you know, all the times that have come in so far are very, very competitive. Just the 1/10 down in sector 1 though, so certainly going to put some pressure on here. Yeah, this is driving very well by Jacob, and like I said, it's great to see, you know, now that he's gone out of his team, he's gone a little, yeah, he's improving, he's 5/100ths down. So it's all up to, you got good power here. The car just looks like it's sitting on rails at the moment. Deep under brakes there, good time to be made. Hitting the apex just beautifully. Good on the power. I'm looking forward to seeing what the time will be. It is going to be extremely tight. Oh, he dropped some time. He's 1/4 of a second off. So 4th position. Best of our runners so far in the top 10. But still, Kyle Stokes remains on pole. Provisional pole. So our next driver out will be a Brian Borg. Now, Brian has been in exceptional form, and the 2021 has been the release of Brian Borg. Like, I think Brian would even say himself, generally a midfielder up until this year, but something's going on with this team where they've just improved out of sight. All the PRT cars have just found something. I do see on Brian's car, he does run the French flag. Obviously, you know, Sebastian Tixier, our French little friend there, has had a word in his ear, and he's got the French flag on the side of his car. But yeah, these guys have certainly found something or worked something out that's given their car a bit of extra pace and good traction, and you know, they're doing a good job. So Brian now on the start of his flying lap, and this is a guy who has put himself into winning positions of late. His teammate Coy Shepherd, we know, leading the series quite comfortably. You know, he's good 400 points ahead of Jordan Ross. But Brian Borg, certainly no mean feat here. He's 4th overall with 2,810 points. And if he puts a strong result in, he can, you know, start putting pressure on guys like Adam Briggs and Jordan Ross to try and snavel that, extra podium. And not forgetting that the final race of the year is the Enduro at Bathurst, where he'll be teaming up with Corey Shepherd, and you'd probably think that that's an extremely strong combination, and certainly, you know, one of the favourites to win the race and snag maximum points. Down a 10th as it is at the moment, but it's how his car's set up, how quick he can change things like the brake bias and all that, and the roll bars. You know, these are the things that get changed regularly. Every corner, he's coming up to the finish line now. Lap time. He'll be disappointed with that. So just, you know, 0.223 down. And again, it remains Stokes, Freer, Flock, now Borg in P4, and Jacob Knight P5 at the moment. Andrew Dyson, again, another one. 6 overall at the moment. Probably a bit far away to make ground on Rick Kutsanoff, who's 5th overall. Like, we're talking 400 points here. So Dyson's more looking over his shoulders to what he can lose to Todd Hayne than what he can probably gain. There's still good points to be made, still 3 rounds to go. And the car 41, the team's, again, another team that's just come out of the woodwork this year and made some significant improvements all around. So, and they're bonding well as a team, from what I understand. The morale's pretty good. Again, they've found that little bit extra. There's a few teams here that, have just taken that next step for sure. And the Mustang, the Simrigs.com Mustang, is looking absolutely splendid. Yeah, so Simrigs.com and Phoenix Smokers, good sponsors. Look, to maintain the sponsorship of these teams, it's significant, and all the cars have just looking. The liveries just look fantastic. And Sector 1, he has exactly the same time as Kyle Stokes. And we know that Kyle's second half of the lap was extremely strong. So he's green in Sector 1, he's green in Sector 2, so it's a great time. He's 5/100ths of a second up on Kyle Stokes. This could be Dyson's big lap. I don't think he's been on pole before this series as he crosses the finish line. So I think, and he's gone purple sector, and there we go. So new pole, and that's a great lap time. 2/10 faster than Kyle Stokes. So congratulations to Mr. Dyson so far. Teammate Adam Briggs is going to be up next. And, Adam and Andrew on their day both could say that they're the lead driver of this team. At the moment, Dyson's put his flagpole in the ground. He's laid a stake. And he's, thank you. He's, so Adam Briggs, very, very good on one lap performance. Again, he's had front row positions, but at the start of his lap, he's got a target of 104.635 as he starts. So taking all of the track here, his line is absolutely mint. He's doing a fantastic job so far. He's just down by 4/100ths on his teammate. So, the two of them are going to have an epic battle tonight. You can be sure of that. It's a great wide entry, and he's using all of the track and some, and he's really hitting those apex beautifully. Doing a fantastic job. 1/100ths up in Sector 2. Good drive out. Probably got a little bit squirrely there. Lost a bit of traction on exit. But he's performed exceptionally well this whole series. This is why he's on the podium. 2,890 points. Exit at the last corner. Looking out for the time. 2/100ths of a second between the two teammates at the moment, blocking out the front row. We've still got a few cars to come. James Scott would be next. So James Scott doesn't need a hell of a lot of introduction to this series. The Altus driver has, when he showed up, he's always there and thereabouts. Multiple champion, has, really made a big commitment to this series. Not just this series, and not just this series, but other seasons. He's pretty committed to this series. He's done a lot of good things here, and multiple win. And he wears the car one for a reason. 31 pole positions. He'll be going for number 32 tonight. Haven't seen much of James, to be fair, over the last few weeks, but he's someone who generally does practice a lot, and when he comes out to race, he does put on a show. So time to beat 104.635 by Andrew Dyson. If you're going to pick the favourite, this is the favourite, I think, for pole position between him and Corey Shepherd. But what the two DPR guys have done tonight is exceptional. The 2/10ths up on Kyle Stokes. Kyle Stokes still sits third place, and he'd be really, really happy with that. We've still got quite a few drivers. We've got a few drivers to come, and we're going to be on lap. Yeah, so Kuznetsov, Jordan Ross, and Corey Shepherd still to follow after this. So James Scott is our fourth to last driver. Purple sector in one. It's a lap that actually looks slow, but it's controlled. It's keeping the car straight. The power's on early. It's like this thing's on rails. It's like it's got traction control on exit. It's just the mid-corner exit is just absolutely superb. No, it's gone green. No, purple around pole position. It's unbelievably good lap. 104.418, just over 2/10 ahead of the DPR guys. So it's a great lap by James Scott. Next, Rick Kutsanoff. This is the big improver for 2021 in my eyes. He's always there and thereabouts, and he drives smart. You don't see him getting involved with too many incidents at all. You don't see him getting too involved at all with too many incidents. He's really just come out of nowhere this season. And, you know, the fact that he's the third to last driver, he's only got 2 in front of him after this. It's a great time he's got to chase here, 104.418. He is a guy who can do it. Probably a bit narrow on entry there, didn't use all the track, and very wide on exit, so don't be surprised. It could be an off track. I haven't seen a time set yet. It's gone green in his first sector, but I would think that he's going to probably be second. He's just at 8/100ths at the moment. Yeah, again, a little bit squirrely on exit. He's less than a 10th behind him. A bit squirrely on exit there. I reckon he would have dropped probably half a 10th there, but this is where he can make gains. So using all of the track and more with a curb on the power, nice and early. Geez, he did that really well. Keeps it straight lined afterwards. It's going to be drop time. Yeah. So that was on the exit there. Just lost a bit of time. He certainly got a bit squirrely there, and you know, too much wheel spin and dropped down P4 at the moment. Jordan Ross, bit of a fan favourite, Jordan, despite this livery. Yeah, despite this horrific livery, Jordan, it's a shocker. Get rid of it. But, you know, Jordan, he's a hard racer, and as he's aged, you would think he's become more mellow, but anything but. He just loves getting his nose in there, loves driving hard, drives fair, has not had a pole position this season. This is his chance to get his first. Good exit at 1 there, using all of the entry, all of the exit on the power early. The car's pointing in a straight lane straight away. Stays on the power here. Little bit of a lift there, as we can see. And again, using all of the entry. Probably a bit conservative through there. Didn't really attack that corner as I thought he would, but then come back hard as he takes this right off camber. So he's just the 800ths off in sector 1. This is another good corner. Up the hill, the car just loses a bit of balance there, but I reckon he's 1200ths down, so just fading a little bit. He's not getting any younger, old Jordan, but he's always remaining competitive. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of how he took that last chicane. I reckon he would have dropped a bit of time here as he goes across the strike. A 4-4, yeah, he dropped a bit of time there at that last chicane. So P4 at the moment. So Scott, Dyson, Briggs, Ross, Kuznetsov are your top 5. Series leader Corey Shepard. This is the man that's in form. He's done an amazing job all year with the Mr. Antenna car. He's going for his 9th pole position for the season. So it would have been a pretty slow out lap just to look after those tyres. So as he starts his flying lap now, this is the guy who's in form. This is the guy who's striving to win the championship. This is a guy that tonight can put an absolute hammer in the nail with this series and make it a bit more relaxed in the last couple of rounds. He's got Bathurst coming up, as we know. Would have to be a heavy favourite for that race, but he's right on it now. I think his first sector's looking pretty handy. That car just looks like it's on absolute rails. Just a 7/100ths down on James Scott, so this is going to come right down to a 7/100ths. Is less than a click of a finger. Yeah, different line through there. Certainly a lot tighter. He's made a gain. Purple in sector 2. He's coming up to strike. This will be extremely close. Straight lines it. Got it. Yep. No, he hasn't. No. 3/100ths down. To apologise there for giving you false information. 3/100ths down. So there's your grid set for what is round 14 of the series. James Scott, of 104.418, has taken pole position and a fantastic job. The lap looked nice and slow, but the car was nice and straight, and it was a controlled lap. So congratulations to James Scott there. Corey Shepherd will be second. Dyson and Briggs and Jordan Ross will round out your top 5. So just whilst the grid's forming up, we'll just take a little bit of a break. But before we do, for Dave Whiting and I can't remember. Sorry, Dave Coleman and Michael Whiting. I do apologise. It's happy birthday to the lads, and hopefully the night will be kind to them as they start off shortly with 47 laps of what will be exciting action. It's going to be a long night. So welcome back, and the race stewards, Damon Woods, just explaining the expectations of the night. It's going to be, it's going to be an interesting race. There are passing opportunities at this track, so be sure to look out for those. I'm just trying to get, it's 47 laps. Trying to find some round details. Here we go. So yeah, so 47 laps, mandatory of 2 pit stops. There is a quick repair if you need. 20 incident limit, which actually might get tested tonight around this 3.15 kilometre track. So fuel capacity, they probably will need a short stab of fuel for sure. Start off with a full tank, but they will need a little top up as well. So partly cloudy. The track temp's actually gone down 36 degrees now. So yeah, just watch out for start for James Scott. He's on the inside here, and I remember this track well. 1993 Ayrton Senna, smashing down rain, starting 5th on the grid. By the time the first lap came round, Ayrton Senna was well and truly in front. Let's see if we can have that same type of thing with Jordan Ross starting 5th. It's not wet, it's dry, but let's see what happens. Just waiting for a couple of cars. Troy Maguire, the 063 waiting on him, and then we'll be up and away. Revs are building. And away. And a great start by James Scott, dominating that start. Probably doesn't need to hold that inside line, and very comfortable. Doesn't look like there's any incidents at this stage. And Michael Talangic starting from the back of the field. Looking forward to seeing what kind of gains he can make. Also, I think it's Jake Maloney in the field and in the TTR car. And it looks like there is a car that is off in the background. I think by chance it is Maloney. So I'm not sure what happened there. Also the 080 looks like it's had a little off of Jamie Dyke as well. So tight first lap here, minor incidents, doesn't look like any damage fortunately. James Scott holds the lead. Corey Shepherd is already putting on the pressure. Adam Briggs has dropped 7 positions, already down to 11th place, as is Sebastian Fock, dropped a few positions, but Sebastian Tixier, on the other hand, up 5, as is Dylan Rudd, up 5. Jamie Dyke down 9 positions, down to 25th. Looks like a relatively clean start as they cross the start-finish line. 1 lap down already. So we'll go to a replay of Jake Maloney early on here. Did he get any help at all? Oh, so Rob Bowden in front of him just checked up a little bit, didn't give an absolute driving incident, but Jake's bailed out of that, created a bit of understeer, and as a result it's gone off. But looking forward to seeing Jake's progress from here, and he's already made gains from when he started. Some drivers that have gone down. Whiting down 10, Troy Maguire down 21 positions. Obviously something's happened to him. And Brian Borg has made a early pit stop, I think, as well. So mandatory 2 pit stops, very snappy fit, in, out and away. So one of the series, and a few cars already boxing early. The next one in, Rob Bowden is pitting. Barnes, Brunt, McAvoy, Ash Newton, all pitting. So at this stage, they probably won't even take tyres. They probably won't even take fuel. It'll be in, stop, out, classes as pit stop. Pit stops will be extremely short. So for some reason, Borg is right off with a 37 seconds pit stop. Maybe, just maybe, he's had to stop early and actually hasn't changed his qualifying setup. Maybe he's just gone in with his quality setup, quality fuel, so he would have still taken a lot of fuel, and that's going to extremely compromise the rest of his race, unless there is a safety car. There's no mandatory safety car in any of these events, so unless there's an incident, the race might continue through. And amazingly, we're already on to a lap 3, start of lap 4 now, and James Scott just, not going to say he's leading comfortably, controlling the pace, controlling the race. Shepherd, Dyson, Ross, Kutsanov. Kenny Ladder's in the pit. He's gone off pace, Ken Ladder, this year. I'm not sure what's happened. He just seems to have dropped off. But a quality driver. But we're watching Corey Shepherd right now, and this is the championship leader. He just needs to drive with his head tonight. Coming second is fine. It's a long, long way to go. Strategy will play an absolute key part. James Scott's just stretched that lead out. It's half a second now. Not a strong track to worry about a draft. It's not going to do a lot down here. There'll be draft for sure, but there's not going to be significant gains made. but it just looks like, you know, as we come up to the end of lap 4, it just looks like James Scott's controlling that pace. We're now on board with Tom Freer. Did a really good qualifying, Tom. 8th place in qualifying. Already gained that spot behind behind Kyle Stokes. And again, these guys are just mixing it up. Tom's actually dropped off with Kyle a bit. Both of them will be in quite a comfortable spot. And he's got Sebastian Tixier and Jacob Knight. And Adam Briggs, who did drop spots on the opening lap, down 6 positions with his first lap. So best lap of the race so far, James Scott with a 105.02, which was his last lap. So as we are now with Adam Briggs, he's already got 18. No, sorry. Yeah, I'm just using a different system tonight, so finding out a few things myself at the moment. So best lap for Adam so far, a 105.64. Ooh, a bit loose in front there by, I think that was Tixier. So we haven't got any cars pitting so far this lap. But we have had from Rob Bowden is our first of the cars that were a lap down. Sorry, had already pitted, sorry. And being such a short lap here, it does, you know, make them a bit susceptible to dropping a lap early. So if you can get in, get out pretty quick, then you should be okay. But, you know, Brian Borg, as we say, with a 37-second pit stop, he's right off pace at the moment. Well, Briggs is trying to slip his nose in there on Jacob Knight. Let's just see the exit speed here. Yeah, well done. Good driving by Jacob Knight, but he's going to have to go defensive here because Adam Briggs, who we saw very quick in qualifying, he's got a quick car, he's got a quick team, just needs to be patient here. Maybe if you're on board with Adam Briggs right now, you might be thinking pit stop just to get in, out, get some free track time, make the most of the extra pace that he's got. As we cross the line, lap 7 already of 47. So last lap for Adam Briggs, a 106.42. So he's losing 1.2, 1.3 seconds a lap already behind the leaders. Certainly is being held up. Jacob Knight not needing to do anything wrong here, just holding his line. Has just had a quick visit from Ethan Grigdol to my house. He was actually here for the Phillip Island racing this weekend, so sorry about that delay. So it would appear that Brian Borg had a jump start, so obviously would have had a penalty fairly quickly there, and then has got rid of that penalty and is back in the action. We're on board now with Jacob Knight looking at the back as we look at the Briggs car. The nose of that Mustang is just getting closer and closer, stalking his prey as we enter now the new lap through turn 1. Jacob Knight's just driving very, very sensibly, not over-driving and watching his lines, challenging Briggs to say that if you want to get through, go the long way around. Under brakes here. This is exactly the same replay as before, and look at the drive that Jacob Knight has. But he's going to be under attack here. Briggs is setting this up. But also don't look out for Dylan Rudd here. Dylan Rudd can stick his nose in. There's contact. There's definitely contact made there. You would probably think that there's going to be a redress made, and what the big benefit there is going to be, you would think Dylan Rudd will make a benefit. That would be for the stewards very, very quickly. So Briggs certainly made that tap, I've got no doubt about that, because he felt he was under attack from Rudd, so break that little bit earlier No contact on my screen from between Rudd and Briggs. That's off to the stewards, you would think. So we go to the replay. We're on board with Briggs now. And here's the contact. Just that little tap makes the night car very unsteady under brakes. Has to take that shortcut and the penalty that follows as well. So it's not bad enough that he actually got that tap, but then he'd have to release from the shortcut as well. So Adam Briggs, if he's to redress that, is going to be dropping quite a few spots as well. Now on board with Wilson. So poor old Knight is going to be looking in his vision mirror and go, hang on, I've been through this before. He's seen the same type of car, same team. Hopefully it won't be the same result. So we're almost a quarter of the race through already, and we've still just got the 12 cars that have made their initial stop. The danger is you know, if you're Corey Shepherd or James Scott, Andrew Dyson, do you pit now? Take that chance, because if you do pit now, what you'll be doing is potentially putting yourself back in traffic. So you're going to be waiting for a lot of the cars behind to make that stop, give yourself some clear air. And here's a big move of Michael Talianchik, who has done a pit stop starting in last place up to 25th place at the moment, up 8 positions with that stop. And for the first time this race, we'll have some clean air, and he's already got himself ahead of Michael Whiting. So interested to see Talianchik's first flying lap on a free track. So best lap so far for Michael is a 106.07. Last lap was a 107.5. Now he pitted 4.5 laps ago, so the tyres certainly aren't brand new at the moment, but I would imagine that his time will be extremely competitive. He's still riding on board with White here. And Jake Maloney and McMahon, sorry, Adam Haynes, sorry, very tight. I think Maloney's just made that move. So Jake Maloney's up 14 spots. And there's Briggs redressing. Thank you. So I'll just going to keep going back to Talianchik. His last lap was, as expected, a 106.38. Sorry about cutting away at the wrong time there. So Talianchik, now that he's in free air, he will make significant gains on those who are in front. So Michael's been around for quite a while. He knows, very good tactical Michael. His driving ability is strong, but his biggest strength is the way to analyse a race and to get through the race for making the most of the strategy. Kyle Stokes leaving the pits now. So Stokes has got a really good passage here in front. This is where Kyle needs to go hard. He's the first car that's actually left the pits, and you would think that there's now going to be a chain reaction for the rest of the top 10. Looking out for Kyle's best lap so far, 105.38. And to see what his first flying lap is. We'll go on board with Kyle shortly, just to make sure that he's clear of traffic and see that, you know, see what gains he does make. We're on board with Kyle now. So Christian Smart is well down the track, so there's going to be no interference at all. And this is where Kyle's going to make the most of it. His Synergy Sim teammate Jordan Ross is pitting, as is Briggs, as is Hayden Harrison, who we haven't spoken about from Taipan Esports. So Ross is pitted comfortably out in front and has already got a good work from his teammate there. So this is again going to cause a reaction. You would think Kutsenov, Dyson, Shepherd, Scott, they'll all be looking to go to these pits now. And I think if we ride with Corey Shepherd, I think you'll find that this will be the lap that he needs to pit. They don't want to be looking after their shoulder, otherwise he's going to be sitting behind. They go on. Every lap that they go from now on is the time they're losing to Jordan Ross, and it's going to favour Jordan. Another couple of laps, and Jordan will have both of them there. And we found that it's not that easy to pass here at the moment. The cars are so easy, so evenly matched. Jacob Knight, Sebastian Flock, both in the pits as well. So a little bit wide on exit there. And again, I would have thought more cars would start pitting. 2 compulsory stops. We're on lap 14 of 47. Tyre wear's not that significant at Donnington. A really close action there. Jake Maloney up 20 positions in the car 29. Now this is a car that was fired off in turn 1, don't forget. You know, more to be sure of avoidance, and he went long last week. Another driver who's probably very underestimated, actually has had significant wins in supercars in the past. Very capable driver. Dylan Rudd's boxing, as is Bilson, and as I think is Greg Sharp letting Maloney through here, or just going wide early. Maloney deep under brakes, that's a job, very comfortable. And is he going to be bringing... No, I don't think Adam Haynes can get through. No, he doesn't. And watching out for Jordan Ross's first flying lap is a 105.22 in the car 143, as James Scott, Corey Shepherd and Andrew Dyson continue on an extra lap. And their lap time 105.65, so gains made by the car 143. Looks like Briggs has had it off, so he's having a bit of a dirty night, Adam Briggs, in the car 72. On the board with the replay now. Where does he lose? He's always got some now that's going to be something to look at there. It's an unusual quid exit, that, and that's really hurt him. Not just the fact that he spun, but the fact that he's actually had to sit so long. Freer, Tixier and Hayne all boxing as well. Now Shepherd is just sticking with James Scott here. That might not be a matter of Scott being slow. It might not be a matter of Shepherd being fast. It might just be both of them are controlling their race, controlling their tyres. Fuel burn's not an issue, so they can go as hard as they want. We're on board now with Sebastian Flock, and down 10 spots, but a lot of it is on braking. On the pit stop. And we've also got a really good battle just behind Sebastian with Harrison and Coleman, sorry. So side-by-side action here. Oh, that's not good news there. There's a couple of cars that don't look like they're going to be able to get back into this. If we can just go back to those cars, that'll be fantastic, Mr. Cameraman, please, to see where they've ended up and what they've happened, or whether they've already exited. So it just looks like he's just lost it on exit on the grass, and then away he's gone. And then Riley is an unfortunate victim in that as well. So bad news for both those cars. They are out. So Tom Freer right on pace here, and almost to the letter. It's almost predicted, both cars. And you'll also see Dyson in. Kutsanoff has stayed out at the moment. So Scott, Shepherd, Dyson in. And what we'll be watching is, looks like tyres being taken here by all three. What we'll be finding here is whether Jordan Ross can get straight through. I would think he will. So Maloney through. And look at the exit here. So Dyson no tyres. And look at the disadvantage Shepherd has got here now. He's just dropped off. There's a few cars in between. And this is the time for James Scott to go. James Scott wants to assert his dominance. This is the time. Jordan Ross on older tyres. His tyres are 18 laps old now. James Scott on new. And this is the time to push, push, push. Oh, there's a hit there. Now let's just say there's been a bit of talk of late of blocking, but that will go to the stewards, I'd imagine, as Greg Sharp pits. That will go to stewards. It's not the type of thing that the championship leader needs to get involved with. Get the thing home to the finish. Use some experience. Doesn't matter if you win every race to win the championship. Dyson running the old tyres, Scott on new tyres. Should be pretty quick work here by James Scott. This is the time to make that move, to stretch it out. Look at the difference in the tyres. Yeah, it hasn't made that move just yet, but this is where the new rubber does the work. And you'll find that this is going to be reasonably comfortable by the time they enter the chicane. It's already made that move. And that's Kuznetsov is still right there, and Kuznetsov only just did his pit stop not long as well. And again, no tyres. You would think that Kuznetsov will make things very easy for series leader Corey Shepherd, or maybe not. So lights are flashing aboard the Corey Shepherd car for his teammate. Surprised that Kuznetsov actually made life so difficult. So cars yet to pit. Freeman in the car 015 and Jake Maloney in the TTR 29. Shepherd needs to make a move as soon as he can on the tyres of Dyson. Lap 20 old tyres in comparison to lap 4 old tyres for Corey Shepherd. Yeah, so surprised Kuznetsov made life so difficult there for Corey. Whether there's a communication breakdown, but Corey's just done this move very comfortably. And now we'll just watch the chase here on his new tyres, as has James Scott. James Scott has Jake Maloney just in front of him. So I would imagine that as soon as these guys get to Maloney, Maloney will pit and come out with the cleanest tyres of all. But, you know, there's no blue flags waving. Maloney's there on merit, so James Scott will come up to Jake Maloney, but Jake Maloney does not have to let him pass. So fastest lap of the race so far, James Scott with a 105 flat. So there is no cars that have touched the 104s yet. Track temperature still coming down, so there is a chance, possibly I would say after the next pit stop, that the times will come down even further. We're on board now with Rob Bowden, Tixier. This is a really good battle here for 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th. So Rob Bowden's another one who's fairly inconsistent. Can do some really strong races. Tixier under brakes, he's going to make that move. Just has unsettled the Bowden car, and you see Jacob Knight back there battling his way back through the field after some problems early on. These are the stalwarts of the AOSC. These guys have been running. Oh, it's tight by Tixier. surprised he was actually hold that and get such good drive out of that corner. Very well done. There's a good battle behind as well. So we're still on board with ticks here. And these guys have been battling. This is 10th for position top 10. Dylan Rudd has again shown some potential. He just thereabouts with the 9 and 5 Sim Sport team, up 3 positions to 12th position. And he's got Todd Hayne, who, you know, the Taipan team have just developed so strong this year. Got some really good drivers, and he's under attack with Jacob Knight. I do apologise, I'm struggling with the voice here at the moment. Maloney's doing it, he's not doing anything wrong here. He's just holding up. This is going to be hurting James Scott. James Scott needs to make this move. He needs to do it fairly. I'm sure he will. But Jake Maloney using all of his experience, hundreds and hundreds of races in the supercar. Scott deep under brake. And, oh, I'm not sure if there was a tag there or whether it was just a rear lockup by Maloney. And look at the gains made by Shepherd. And Maloney holding the inside line. This is going to start infuriating James Scott. He's not going to be a happy camper in the cockpit at all. And Maloney's not in this series overall, but he's entitled to be here and going for the race win just like everybody else. Scott through, Shepherd through. Bit of love there between TTR and Altus, you can be sure. So we've already got some cars coming in for their second stop, and there's some cars that still haven't done their first stop. So the the strategies are certainly shining through. Jacob Knight is through in the meantime up until 13th place. He's got a bit of a clear track in front of him at the moment, so seeing how much he can make gains. We're going to do a lap on board shortly with, let's go with Corey Shepherd. Let's go with Corey Shepherd on board as we do a lap around this famous track. We're back, end of lap 28, start of lap 29. It's a situation normal. James Scott just holding on. Corey Shepherd's looked the faster in race trim all night as Dyson comes in for his second stop. During the break, we did have a couple of pit stops. Certainly, Jake Maloney took his pit stop, and Jordan Ross had his second pit stop, which is very, very interesting. That's the type of strategy that would work well. If there's a safety car, if there's no safety car, well, we've still got the 18 laps to go. But this is where the battle is. If we go on board with Corey Shepherd, we'll see where the little gains are made, where the traction is stronger, where we think that he can make this possible pass. Don't forget, he doesn't need to win the race to strengthen his position in the championship. Second in the championship is Jordan Ross. It's not James Scott. Corey just needs to sit here, be patient, take second place is fine. I don't think he's had to do that though. He's a racer, he wants to win as much as he can, and he wants to beat James Scott. He just looks stronger all round at the moment. Let's just watch those revs, watch the gear changes. You'll find that they're going to be super consistent. So we think the revs are around 7,500, 7,500, 7,500. It's just clockwork, hours and hours of practice. Just turns him so early, such control on the power early. And James Scott in front driving very, very sensibly. Very sensibly. Scotty's always done a pretty good job at Donnington. It's one of his better tracks. Had some good results here in the past. His Brunt pits again from his second stop. So we've had quite a few two-stoppers already, of which Adam Dyson is the first of those in ninth place. So Dyson's actually got himself just ahead of Jordan Ross and all that as well. As Rick Kuznetsov comes in for his second stop. So Kuznetsov was in third spot. Interesting to see where he comes out, but this leading two here have really just stretched this out quite comfortably in the lead now. As Jordan Ross is finally, so the first of our drivers to break into the fours is Jordan Ross, 104.9, beaten just then by Andrew Dyson on 104.89. So as the track temps come down, the fuel load lightens, the new tyres go on, we'll be getting steadily improvements. We'll go shallow fours by the end of the race. So if you look at the lap times, you'll see that Corey Shepherd's stronger in sector 1, Corey Shepherd's strongest in sector 2, and Shepherd's pitting. This is where the undercut will work. This is going to be the benefit. It's up to where he comes out. He'll need to measure how quick this stop will be. Will he take tyres? Will he gain track position? We're only talking about 15 laps to go. Yes for tyres. And by pitting first, James Scott will be able to see what he needs to do. Will James Scott need to take tyres? Will James Scott think I can do a shorter stop, get track position? And unfortunately, it's probably not going to be that bad. So he's going to come out just behind his teammate. Whether his teammate lets him straight through, he does. Clear track for Corey Shepherd. You're about to see within the next 2 laps a new lap record here. Now, our eyes will be on James Scott to see whether he reacts. He has to react to this. The Shepherd's pit stop was 8.83, so it's just tyres, no fuel, and we're going to be watching out next for James Scott to see if he reacts. You think he will with lap cars ahead? Straight away reaction, pretty obvious move this. Ooh. Let's have a look to see if this is an extended stop. I have a feeling he's gone too fast, too hard in the pit lane. There could be a penalty involved here, and I'd say, what has he done there? He's jumped out of the server quickly and jumped back in. Now, not sure what's that about, whether So we're expecting a penalty here for James Scott. Not sure why he's jumped out there and he's now sitting, waiting. So a penalty coming. In the meantime, new fastest lap for Rick Kuznetsov, a 104.7. Not sure why James Scott did that escape, but he got back in the car straight away. And you could see he was coming in as hot as. For our new leader, hasn't pitted for the second time yet. Tom Freer. Tom's been around for a while now and he's been with SSR for a couple of years and has just been thereabouts. Always Mr. Consistent. Enjoys his sim racing, no doubt at all. Does a really good job. And it's just been balked there a little bit by a car entering the pits. Or sorry, not entering the pits, just letting them through. So Tom Freer is our race leader. As James Scott is still in the pits. So I think he's pulled in as James, got himself a penalty, and he's been in there for a minute and a half there, and yeah, the cot's well and truly empty. Talking about stalwarts, Greg Sharp has been around for a while. Bit of a fun fact. Greg Sharp is actually an extremely good guitar player, bass guitarist, and yeah, moved from Sydney up to Brisbane quite a while ago, and yeah, has been always consistent, loves his sim racing, doesn't get to practice as much as he probably wants, but you know, he's always comes in, top 20 at the moment for Sharpie. I reckon he'll be pretty happy with that. As yeah, he's had a few interruptions with stewards so far this year, but you know, generally finds himself in a bit of drama this year, and just as we're speaking, there's been contact made. Again, that's something for the stewards to be looking at. That. I was about to say he's had some issues, and yeah, there's again some issues. So Tixier, in the meantime, is up to 12, has made just the one position gain, and we're now with the two teammates, the Hain brothers. Yeah, so we're on with the Hain train, and let's look at Michael Talangic's behind. Michael's made up 15 spots so far, up into P18. Consistent lap times. Doesn't spend as much time on the sim as what he used to do, and the whole team, in fact, like, they've had some. Look, it's been a mild year for the team, but they're still a strong team, and they show good commitment week in, week out, and they've always supported the category, and they're the teams that are the backbone for this series and for many others. And Freeman from P6 is in the pit. So that just leaves Jake Maloney as the only car now not to have stopped twice. And remember, with Jake, he pitted very, very late. It was the last of the pitters for round one of the pit stops. And you would expect he's going to be coming in relatively soon. We're down to the last 11 laps. And just look at the time Freeman lost there. He's gone from P4 down to P13 from that pit stop. Trying to go on board to see who's got the fastest lap so far. 104.7 is still the fastest lap for Rick Kuznetsov. So Shepard has not taken that fastest lap, surprisingly, despite being well and truly in front. Comfortable now, now that James Scott's made that unforced error entering pit lane. But you know, Scotty had to be aggressive there on pit entry. The undercut is fairly strong here. You would expect that Corey would have come out in the lead, and you know, James has done what he can to try and maintain his lead. He pretty much led the entire race, but that pit entry mistake has ended the car one's day. Maloney now pits. So good gains made here by Jake Maloney. Look at that. P8 fresh tyres. If he took tyre, yeah, he would have taken tyres. He's got Dylan Rudd just up the road. You'd expect him to get to Dylan. And yeah, a really, really strong performance back here with Flock and the two Hayne boys, and with Talanchi. We've got a little move here as well with Whiting and Sharp. So we'll talk about Greg Sharp in the top 20 before, now top 22, and with Simon Mizzomo closing down that as well. So the birthday boy, Michael Whiting for Fishy Motorsports, just the one position gain tonight. But fastest lap of a 105.6, that's not too shabby. That's only the 1 second off of Corey Shepherd's best time. So that's a really good effort by Michael. He'd be pretty happy with that. And again, another team that's had some drivers come and go. We're on board now with Sebastian Flock for Pursuit Sim Racing. So Flock is very wide on entry there. Just lost the rears a little bit. Didn't get the turn in that he probably expected. That really sets him up now with Adam Hayne going the long way around. I don't think that's going to stick at the moment. The Taipan guys might need to think about a change. Bit of a no, working on the overlap. I don't think he's going to get that job done just yet. What he's doing though, he's showing his cards in turn one. So straight away, Sebastian Flock's learning. So Hayne's going to need to be able to make a move shortly. Oh, little tap on exit there. This is where the move can happen. Under brakes. And watch the drive from Flock here. No, that's very, very well done by... That's very, very smart by Adam Hayne there. He's going to get some company shortly. This isn't over yet, though. This is Flock's biggest chance. Oh, deep. Yeah, good driving by all. Very good driving. Good race going on here. You'd like to think that Tally would be coming in hot here. So 2x2 Noah's Ark Racing here. The two Pursuit cars with two Taipan esports cars. It's great racing. We'll stay with this for a while. On board now with Michael Talanchi. So if he can stick his nose past the Hayne car in front, that will certainly cause an amount of relief for Sebastian Flock, who'll only have the one car. As it stands now, if the first Hayne, it would be Adam, gets in amongst and sticks his nose in, he might find clearance for Todd to get through as well. So Michael Talanchi is a very, very important wingman for Sebastian Flock here. And we're on lap 40 of 47, so we're not far from being done. So the two fishy guys with Greg Sharp as well. And Mizzomo is still... Mizzomo's made a lot of ground on these guys. So the two fishy cars, Mizzomo, he's run a lot of curb there. Has got that job done. So Mizzomo makes a gain, Whiting down the spot. This will happen in turn one. And in the meantime behind, Corey Shepherd is about to lap them. So Maloney has got the newest tyres. We're going back to Mizzomo now. And Mizzomo's just had a nice controlled race here throughout. Little gains. Now he's up 11 spots on his qualifying. So we'll stay here with Jordan Ross. There's a bit of tension in the air at the moment with Jordan and the Premier Racing team. There's been some allegations of blocking on both sides. Jordan's been pretty fast here throughout. This is the positions 2, 3, 4 and 5. This will be a really interesting battle. So Jordan flying the SSR flag up front tonight. Dyson up the one spot. Obviously that spot's from the James Scott fall, but Dyson made some losses early on, but has made those gains back. And my driver of the day so far is Kyle Stokes. Has just done a magnificent job so far. And he's got his teammate Tom Freer right behind, but with Maloney making gains. Not sure whether Jake will get to him in time though. Oh, watch this, watch this. Looking forward to how Jordan reacts here, whether he takes the inside line early, whether Kutsanov's going to make a move under brakes. He does, very predictable. And, oh, that's close. Yeah, there's some good racing there. Trusted each other, made sure that there was no contact. Good race by both. We are now in the closing stages of this race. You can see that the ZB Commodore Kutsanov is just stalking his prey, Jordan's just going to focus on entry and exit. Nice and slow entry, concentrate on exit. Don't get yourself in a position where you can be attacked. Focus on your lines. We're on board with Jordan still. It's been solid all year. Jordan's second in the championship. Series leader is drive. He's down the road. Forget that. At the moment, Jordan needs every point he can get his hand on to absolutely capitalise on the podium position overall. And Rick Kutsanov's not going to be doing him any favours because they've got a feeling that Ryan Borg could possibly get second overall in this series. So they need to get through him sooner before later. So we just hear that Simon Mazzono, who worked his way beautifully through the field, has had an incident as well on power. Sure, what's going on here? We'll have a look. Is he going to be tapped from behind? What's the bet, people? Oh, under brakes. Not sure if he's done that by himself, but he's gone a long way the wrong way. And he's well off the track, and he has lost a lot of positions. So down into P29 now for Simon Mazzono. It's a significant drop. And there's our move from Michael Talianchik. So up to P17. So Todd Hayne has dropped. Adam Hayne has got through Sebastian Flock in the meantime. Get on board with Flock because I reckon he's just about to lose it on one. He's overdriven that, locked the rears. That's going to set himself up to be challenged by team leader and team principal Michael Talianchik. So Adam Hayne is up and away. You can't imagine him being caught for position. I think Adam Hayne will be remaining top 15 for the race, which is, I think he'd be pretty happy with that, up 10 spots. So it's just a matter now of Michael Talianchik whether he can hold off Todd Hayne. Todd's going deep under brakes. So I'd be keeping an eye on Talianchik and Hayne there. There's still a bit of racing to go with this battle. So there's only 2 laps to go. So about another 6.5 Ks to go. Look at the exit speed. Look at the exit speed. This is setting him up. Absolutely gimme coming into turn 1 here. Oh, he's gone so narrow. Watch the drive on exit. 2 completely different lines. And Talianchik has just got so much better power on exit there. Jake Maloney up into 7th place in the meantime, up 25 positions if you don't mind. Stokes has just gone past Tom Freer again. There's something going on with Jordan Ross as well. So Ross, Kutsanov, it's going to be something's going on here, boys and girls. And there's a hit. There's another hit. And another one. These cars are getting shorter and shorter by the minute. So long as they don't get narrower and narrower. There's quite a few weeks of build-up of frustration, shall we say, between these 3. and Borg, and this is where second and third place is. So Borgie doesn't need to be involved with this at all. He's a lap down, and we're coming up to the last lap. So white flag, last lap. Dyson is just under 10 seconds behind race leader Corey Shepherd. So the first two are locked in. The battle though really is staying on board with Stokes, with Ross and Kutsinov. That's where it's going to be all down to. Corey Shepherd. So there's going to be some traffic in front of Kuznetsov, so it's not done yet. I think that's Rob Bowden's in front. So if the lap cars do the right thing, Kuznetsov is in the clear. But there's a lot of traffic, and all of that traffic is racing. They're racing for position. Last lap for the leaders. These guys going to Corey Shepherd. Fantastic drive tonight by Corey Shepherd. That's why he's a championship leader. Corey Shepherd will win round 14 of the Australian Online Supercar Championship, brought to you by Jinx. Battle for second, Dyson is in second. Rick Kutsinov, fantastic drive by Rick, up 3. Jordan Ross in 4th. Kyle Stokes, top 5 for Kyle Stokes. Congratulations. I think that's a season best for Kyle, so he's really happy with that. And Jake Maloney up 25 positions. Drama-filled race. Sorry, there won't be any interviews. I'm ducking out of here sooner before later. So I am on my way shortly. We'll just get some final results for you, and then I'm wishing you a good night. Tell you what, the guy with the checkered flag waves a bit of enthusiasm. There's no doubt about that. It's getting a bit windy. And the results will be here shortly. So here's your results for round 14 of the Jinx Shifters Australian Online Supercar Championship Super Series. Corey Shepherd, your winner tonight. Comfortable position. Once James Scott had his problems in pit lane, Shepherd wins in front of Andrew Dyson, Rick Kutsinov, Jordan Ross, Kyle Stokes is your top 5. You can read onwards from there down to Todd Hayne in 18th position. I'm on my way. I thank you all. Do apologise, I've got to head off. Didn't think I'd be doing this by myself tonight. Throat's killing me, and early start for work in the morning. So thank you to all. Be sure to catch us next week for round 15. I think it's next week. My producer's about to tell me it's at Snetterton, so that'll be just the 3 rounds to go. I think it is, and 2 rounds to go. Sorry, 2 rounds to go. So really, what's happened after tonight is that Corey Shepherd has really driven the nail in the coffin, and with just the 2 rounds to go, unless something major happens wrong next week, you'd probably think that Corey Shepherd is well on his way to winning the championship. Thank you all. I hope you've had an enjoyable race. It's been a long one, thrown in the deep end a little bit here. So I'm signing off, and see you next week for more exciting action at Snetterton Raceway.